in our text, ladies and gentlemen, in our text, we find our central characters, men by the name of Paul and Silas. We see them here in our text. They are going to the temple to pray, and while they are on their way, they are interrupted. They are intercepted by a girl who was possessed with a spirit of witchcraft. Yeah, this damsel began to follow Paul and Silas every day until one day Paul, he got so fed up that he cast the evil spirit out of her. Yeah, when the girl's masters heard of what happened and he realized that he would lose some money because this girl was not under his spell anymore, they captured them and brought them to the magistrates, accusing them of causing trouble in the city. You know the story. They found them guilty. They beat them and then they cast them into prison. Let me inject this before I move on. Do not think, young person, that you will not have any opposition in your life just because you are doing the will of God. Matter of fact, it's the exact opposite, because you are trying to do the will of God, because you are trying to join a ministry, because you are trying to teach Bible studies to your peers, because you are trying to live a separated lifestyle, because you are trying to be used by God. The enemy is going to do everything he can to try to thwart your progress. You better hear me in here. You're going to be persecuted. You're going to be lied on. You're going to be gossiped about and slandered and shunned. But do not let it stop you, because greater is he that's in you than he that is in the world. God help me. So Paul and Silas, So Paul and Silas, they have been beat, they have been thrown in jail, not for doing anything wrong, but for simply doing the work of the Lord. Now here we are. I'm in the circumference of our text now. Not only were they thrown in prison, listen to me now, but the Bible says in Acts chapter 16 verse 24 that they were thrown into the inner prison. You can't read the Bible too fast, church. They were thrown into the inner prison, which simply means that they were thrown into the dungeon. Shout dungeon. Yeah, what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that they were in isolation and seclusion away from the other prisoners, in so much that the Bible says that they had their own guard. If that was not enough, the Bible also said in that same verse that their feet was placed fast in stocks. You see, the enemy thought that because he had beat them, he had locked them in the dungeon, and now had their feet fast in stocks, that they would just roll over and play dead. But how many people know that the devil always makes a mistake? He always makes a mistake. Now here, in this particular situation, the devil made two crucial mistakes, y'all. Can I share them with you? Yeah. I'm going to do it anyhow. Amen. The devil made two crucial mistakes. The first mistake that the devil made was is that he locked up their feet, but he did not duct tape their mouth. Yeah. Come on. Y'all don't want to have church tonight. Let me say it one more time. That's the first mistake. That's the first mistake. That's the first mistake that he made. The devil locked up their feet, but he did not duct tape their mouth. Some of you get me, you don't have like this. What the devil failed to realize was that deliverance does not start in your feet. It does not start in your dancing, your jumping, or your running, nor does deliverance even start in your hands, the clapping and the lifting of your hands. But ladies and gentlemen, deliverance always starts in your mouth. I'm going to shut myself in a minute. I said deliverance always starts in your mouth. You should have duct taped your mouth, because the Bible says if you ask, not clap, not dance, but if you open up your mouth, and if you That's the first mistake. Be seated, please. That's the first mistake that the devil made. Yeah, he locked up their feet, y'all, but he should have duct taped their mouth. The second mistake that the devil made is that he locked them up in the same prison. God help me in here. He should have separated them, but maybe it was a recession. Maybe money was tight. And maybe it was late in the hour when they came. So he said, put them in the same prison. He put them in the same prison. He must have not read his Bible. He must not been reading his bread or his weekly devotion. Because the Bible says where two or three folks come to church not to have church. Listen to me. That's why you have to be selective of who you sit next to when you come to church. I'm afraid of none of you. You better hit me in this house. You better hit me in this house. I don't care if it's your spouse. I don't care if it's your fiance. I don't care if it's your best friend. I don't care if it's your sister or your brother. I don't care if it's somebody that picked you up for church. If they're not a worshiper, if they're going to hit you for praising God, then you are sitting next to the wrong somebody. I don't want to sit next to anybody that's going to hinder my praise, that's going to stop my work. You better be selective of who you sit next to. Okay, I'm starting to feel like I'm in home now. Now let's have a test very quickly back home. I like to say, who's ever sitting on the end of the pew, I call them the pew captain. Some of y'all getting scared now, so I sat in the wrong seat tonight. Yeah, look down very quickly. Look down, have a row check. Look to the left, look to the right very quickly. Look who's at the end of your row. Who's ever on the end of your row, just let them know you are the designated pew captain tonight. Now, what's the job description of the pew captain? I'm glad you asked. The pew captain is supposed to lead the charge. You're supposed to get the party started. And some of y'all in the wrong row, because that pew captain ain't saying nothing all night. I give you permission to move your seat right now. When you come to the house of God, you ought to look inside and sit on the row where the whole room is on fire. When I show you just like that. When I worship, you worship just like that. You ought to grab your neighbor by the hand right now, and you ought to say, help me lift them up. Help me worship him. You be Paul. I'll be Silas. And we're going to praise God in advance for your breakthrough. We're going to praise God in advance for your miracle. You ought to grab your neighbor by the hand. You ought to rock them and shake them. You ought to shake them and rock them. And say, deliverance is coming to your house. Breakthrough is coming to your house. Healing is coming to your house. I'm getting ready to finish. I promise you. I'm getting ready to finish now. So In the very next verse, you can be seated or stand up. I'm already here now. So in the very next verse, Acts chapter 16, verse 25. I got 5 minutes, musicians. Give me 5 minutes, Brother Carter. 5 more minutes. So the very next verse, Acts chapter 16, verse 25. The Bible says, at midnight, Paul and Silas began to pray and sing praises unto God. Here we go now. So Paul and Silas, church, did not pray and sing praises unto God at a safe decibel level. But Paul and Silas, they turned up the volume. And I can hear some of you great theologians out here. I can hear some of you great theologians out here in the crowd. They're saying, preacher, that sounds good, but I don't see in the Bible where it says that Paul and Silas turned up the volume. Yes, you do. You remember when I was reading my text, I told you to highlight and underscore 5 words. Y'all didn't do it? Come on. I told you to highlight and underscore 5 words. And those words were, and the prisoners heard them. 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 Now that really wouldn't mean much to me, church. That really wouldn't mean much to me if Paul and Silas were locked up in the same prison with the other prisoners. That really wouldn't be significant in the text, but it's very significant here because you remember that Paul and Silas were in the inner prison. They were in isolation and seclusion. They were nowhere near the main holding cell. Not only were they not in the same holding cells, but the Bible says it was midnight, which means all the prisoners were asleep. It was lights out high. But Paul and Silas looked at each other and they said, I don't care what time of the night it is. I don't care how far away we are from the main holding cells. We're not going to go up like this. And this is the last shot we get. They turned up the volume. And the Bible says in Acts 16 and 26 that suddenly there was an earthquake and the foundation shook. Their bands were loose, church, and the doors of the prison were open. I need to say it like this, church, that open mouths equal open doors and closed mouths equal closed doors. I don't know who I'm preaching to in this section 9 of you pray tonight, but if there's something in your life that you need deliverance from, if there are some things back home that you need some access to, you're not going to get it by sitting here with your arms folded, your mouth shut, and your legs crossed. But you're going to get up and open up your mouth and say, Jesus, I need you now. Come on, turn up the volume. Turn up the volume. Deliverance is in your mouth. Turn up the volume. If you stay quiet, he will stay bound. If you stay quiet, he will stay shackled. You gotta open up your mouth and turn up the volume. Turn up the volume. And when you turn up the volume, there's a spiritual earthquake that's going to hit this house tonight. There is a spiritual earthquake that's going to hit this house tonight. It's going to shake